Face Hero, we're doing a show coming at you. The more you know, talking about Avengers, but not those photos. We didn't see them. You know the rules though. Minute till the show. 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 Phase Hero episode 38 starts right now. Welcome to the show. BD here, joined on this fine Monday early afternoon by Jenna Anderson.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Aaron Perrine.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got a fun show today. A little bit of a rundown on what to expect from Phase Hero today. First of all, Avengers updates. The Russo brothers did a press tour. They talked about, obviously, their next two little movies, which I pray have a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than their recent movies. We can talk about that if we want to. I haven't seen The Electric State yet. I still want to see it. I'm not going to lie to you, despite the bad reviews. I'm going to watch it. We're going to talk about the Avengers updates from them. We're going to talk about that new Thunderbolts teaser, which was excellent. We got some Fantastic Four updates and Fantastic Four updates for the theme parks and Tony Stark's return at the theme parks. Fortnite's making the news. The Batman, Superman. It's Lobo's anniversary, and Jenna is going to school you on Lobo to celebrate his birthday. And I want to talk about Novacaine because I went to Austin, Texas to do some interviews, but I also want to talk about the press/marketing tour this movie's on because I've never seen anything like it. It's actually pretty impressive, and I think Jack Quaid is having a ton of fun with it. But yeah, that's today's show. Welcome to the show. Jenna, what are you looking forward to today?
All of it, honestly. The theme park stuff is super exciting. The Doomsday quotes are really cool. Like you said, even as Electric State is not performing very well critically, like it's interesting hearing the insight. So we have a lot to talk about today.
Have you guys seen Mickey 17?
I have. I loved it. I thought it was delightful.
Aaron, did you see Mickey 17?
I haven't seen it yet. Me and Jamie are trying to figure out when we're gonna go.
I didn't love it. I saw it this weekend. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't love it. Jenna, you liked it?
I did. It definitely, your mileage on it can vary, and it definitely has a little bit of a zanier kind of screwball energy than I was even expecting from the trailers. But I'm not saying it's like a flawless movie, but I think it's really just fun, and the cast is having a lot of fun, and it's definitely one of the more interesting post-Oscar blank check opportunities that anyone has had up until we get Nolan's Odyssey. I feel like Bong using his capital of having won Oscars and then going and making this weird little movie is very admirable and very fun.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I didn't love it. I was by the end of it, I was ready for it to be over. That's how I felt.
Oh.
It felt like a sort of exhausting reflection of this terrible world we're living in right now. Obviously, satirically so, but I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want constant reminders. That's how I felt for a little bit of that. But it was good. Robert Pattinson was amazing. It was fine. It was all right. But I was just like, God, this is a lot. It was creative though. The aliens were insane.
Yeah.
Wait, do people know there's aliens in that movie? Is that a spoiler?
They're in the trailers.
Yeah.
They're in the trailers.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about some Avengers stuff because that's why you're here. You want to hear about the Avengers. Let's do it. First of all, we all saw it. Let's not act like we didn't see them. I know we're not going to describe them. We're not going to show them. We're not going to really go into detail about them on this show, but we would be lying to ourselves and to our audience if we acted like we didn't see some of the stuff that came out for Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. Presumably for Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. We don't even know if it's real. But I'll just say this. Yeah, we all saw it. We all think it looked freaking cool. But that's it. Like, we're not in the game of leaks and spoilers on Phase Hero. So we'll just leave it at that. I mean, we all agree. I think what we saw looked cool, right? That's pretty much all I feel we need to say about it.
I just need to remind people, concept art is concept art. Like, it's inherently conceptual. They are working out various ideas of how something may or may not come to fruition. And who knows what version of either of these projects, if any of this stuff is real. It seems pretty real, but there's no guarantee that this is what we will eventually see when these movies arrive. There's no guarantee that even any of the plot points are relatively the same. It's an interesting snapshot of stuff, but it might just end up being stuff that we could see in an art book like 2 years ago. So at this point, who knows?
I've been on sets where you see concept art, and the concept art you see on set doesn't even make it into a relevant scene from the movie. So, like, I remember on the Justice League set, they had concept art of the guy who played Tormund as one of the Atlanteans, and then he was not in that movie. So the concept art is just so we'll leave it at that. We're not going to show it here. Who knows if it's real? Whatever, we're moving on. But I know everybody's waiting to hear from us on it, so that's all we got to say about it. But Joe Russo does have plenty to say about Avengers Doomsday, and he talked about this very thing. So we'll get to that in a second. But first, he told ET about Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom and how serious he's getting about this part. And he said, quote, "It's a very intense process developing the character. He's so immersed in it. He's so dialed in." And he added Robert Downey Jr. is, quote, "writing a backstory and sharing costume ideas. We were just on the phone with him this morning before we got here talking about it. He just loves really rich three-dimensional characters. I think he sees a real opportunity here with that character." Cool. I love it when actors care about the part, you know? It's thinking.
It's encouraging, especially given how rich Doom's backstory and history is, and how people still find it kind of controversial that this is the direction that they're taking with Doom. I'm glad to hear that he's like putting in the work and that he really cares. Like, I'm very curious what backstory he's writing and how much of that we're even going to get in the finished product and all of that. But it definitely is encouraging given the weird circumstances that led us to this point.
Yeah.
My RDJ driving around a Honda Odyssey theory gains momentum every week. It feels like he was just really set on this and wanted to make the best kickball team possible. And I'm glad that they're getting a chance to. All of the stuff sounds encouraging. I'm happy that they're shooting it back to back, and for the other updates that are going on in here. So excited to see, you know.
I think this is going to be I think this movie is going to be loaded with great moments. I hope it turns into an excellent story. I listened to the Russo brothers' Piece of Film School with Marcus and McFeely, which was a very interesting episode, and that podcast is really cool. They've had Sarah Finn on recently. A lot of the Agbo people are the guests now, and a lot of the Agbo people also have the history with Marvel. But Marcus and McFeely talked about how they would essentially storyboard movies in a sense. That's probably not the right phrase, but their early stages were to come up with emotional moments, cool moments, things they thought would be good, and then they'd find a way to connect those things. And some of them would make the movie and some of them wouldn't. And we know Stephen McFeely is working on this. Christopher Marcus is not. He's, as they describe it, holding down the fort at Agbo while Stephen McFeely writes this one. The duo works together on Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Winter Soldier, Dark World, and Cap 1. But here they are splitting up for Doomsday and Secret Wars. But I think that we might see some of that. I think Downey wants to have fun with this role. I think the Russos want to have fun with this character in this role, and I think they're going to find a whole list of cool shit they think he could do. And I think it'll ultimately culminate in let's find the way to tell the story using as many of those as we can in what they described as like movies that are almost 3 hours long each. Is one of the most recent quotes, right? Was that real?
Here's hoping.
I think they said that Secret Wars is going to be about 3 hours long. Aaron, you saw that, right?
Yeah, there's like a story about the run times. It's funny, we're doing runtime reporting before a single second of this movie has been shot, but
right.
Let's see here, because it was both. They had talked about the runtime for both movies, and I'm like, what in the world?
I think they said 2.5 for Doomsday, 3 for Secret Wars.
Yeah, so we got first one is 2.5, second one 3 hours. That was 2.
This is where my hypocritical side comes out, because I am never sitting in a damn theater to watch The Brutalist, but you give me 3 hours of Secret Wars and I'm parked. Like, that's
You're
just me.
so funny.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm at least I'm self-aware. I know what I like. I like these colorful, witty, action-heavy, you know, smash them up Secret Wars. I'm in. 3.5 hours of just slow-paced drama. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Intellectual. Maybe that makes me less of an intellectual, but I'll admit it. 3 hours of Secret Wars, I don't care. I'm there. Also, Secret Wars, though, is going to have like a plethora of not just characters, but groups of characters.
Yeah.
You might have the new Avengers. You might have the young Avengers. You might have the Thunderbolts. You might have the West Coast Avengers, the Fantastic Four. There's going to be so many groups of characters in this, that the intergroup relationships and all, then the individual. I'm here for it. One thing that the Russos and Marcus and McFeely have done right in crowded movies like Civil War specifically, and then again in Infinity War, is give characters arcs within the movie itself. And a Civil War is the perfect example to me, because you had sort of Cap and Iron Man at the top of that, and then you'd go ranked, and you had these sort of paired mirror journeys, Natasha and Clint, Vision and Wanda, you know, Spider-Man and Black Panther, both were the newcomers. So I'm here for that stuff. But yeah, anything else on that front that you want to talk about before we talk about the leaks, how they're trying to approach leaks?
I just said shout out to Lillian on Facebook who's watching. He said make it 5 hours. I would sit through that with an intermission. I sure would. I'm shameless.
Is that Pedro in Lillian's Facebook profile picture?
It looks like it.
So.
Yeah. Respect.
Pedro, shout out to Liam Crowley at Screen Rant, who got that clip at South by Southwest of Pedro saying that Robert Downey Jr. and was texting him. And they apparently had a photo, and then the Last of Us season 2 cast all looked at the photo together in the Screen Rant studio down there in Austin. That was a pretty cool moment. Hats off to Liam for creating that moment there in the host chair. The Russos have a plan to avoid leaks and work to make choices which will make set photos and other info harder to seep out when they don't want it to. And this is the quote they said. This is to Collider, by the way. The location work we are doing, we have picked those locations with that in mind as well. So what this means is they're not filming all on sound stages when they go outside. They're going to pick places based on trying to avoid leaks or shoot things outside that they think won't give away the whole movie. Cool. Well done. I mean, this is a lesson I think people had to learn over time. Doesn't really.
This was my biggest hope for a movie like this. Like, I know we've talked about it basically for years of like, once we would get into production, once we would get into the people tracking people's planes to figure out if they're in Atlanta or in London or whatever, anything you can do to mitigate that, I am definitely all for. And I think, like you said, more and more productions and studios are getting better at it. The fact that Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is more than halfway done filming, according to James and Peter, and we have not seen a single set photo or anything from it, proves that you can do it. And yes, this is going to be the biggest movie that they're ever going to film probably, but like, there's definitely a way to do it and still keep all of the surprises there.
I love it. I want the surprises. The fact that Deadpool kept, Gambit and Blade and X-23 a secret until the movie came out, impressive in today's day and age. Very impressive. I always think about one of the harshest lessons in this was The Walking Dead trying to fake us out with Glenn going under the dumpster. Mm-hmm. When Glenn went under the dumpster in The Walking Dead, nobody thought he was dead if they paid attention to the internet, because you saw pictures of Stephen Yeun on set. The Avengers now learning how to capitalize on that lesson that everybody had to learn, I think is great. It's going to preserve the surprises, and we will get more moments like Gambit showing up, Blade showing up on the Secret Wars level. I love that.
It's just funny. I wonder where we get to the point where we have Where's Waldo photos of them filming, and you fly somebody in there for one day so they can take the giant picture of, hey, look at all these people. And then you just can't tell who's in it and who's not. Come to the movie and find out, which is sad that we need that. But I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? That sounds like a good idea.
I can't wait for Secret Wars. I can. I hope they don't rush it. But yeah. Hey, one thing is here, and that's a Thunderbolts teaser.
Yeah, so we're fully into the marketing cycle for this movie now. Marvel dropped a absolute cinema trailer that's very, very fun, edited very well. Imagine that with all the talent listed in here. And highlights all of the people behind the camera who do a bunch of this stuff. It's great. Yeah, look, this is super funny.
This is great.
Brandon, you're gonna read them. That's great. It's so
from
good.
what is this? From the stars of Midsummer, A Different Man, and You Hurt My Feelings. From the writers and directors, from the writers and director of Beef, Netflix series. From the cinematographer of The Green Knight. The Green Knight just got a plug in a Marvel Studios trailer.
Mm-hmm.
The editor of Minari. The composers of Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know, when they market Doomsday and Secret Wars, they should say, instead of from the directors of Infinity War and Endgame, do from the producers of Everything Everywhere All at Once. The Russo brothers, you know, this shot reminds me, by the way, speaking of The Walking Dead, this really reminds me of when Negan debuted on The Walking Dead and all the RVs
that's true.
were lighting up the shot. Although it would be the opposite, because I'm pretty sure that's Bob about to wreak havoc on all these people. And this would be shot from the perspective of Negan, where he was the one in control. Yelena gets a plug. Red Guardian gets a plug. They just call him Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
Ghost, Bob, Winter Soldier. And guess who's not mentioned in this trailer at the end there with the name of
Jenna?
Taskmaster.
Yeah,
And not
all
helping
agree.
our theories.
I mean, she is cooked, right?
Yeah. She is the Slipknot of this movie, unless there is some magical twist that they're hiding in plain sight and we're not even aware of. Can I also just say, because they exclusively debuted this teaser through like the Letterboxd social media account, which like, I'm sad Jamie's not here to talk about this, but having the two of us be the most avid Letterboxd people on this panel, like that is the perfect way to get this audience and to get this kind of teaser out there. Like, I don't mind them doing this and leaning into the kind of film Twitter of it all, because it's definitely working. And I think like that idea behind it is why I've been so excited for this movie, is like knowing all of these talented people are working on it.
Yeah.
When I heard Jenna go that, I'm like, wow, from the band that brought you Super Psychosocial, geez, wow, Slipknot in a Marvel movie, insane.
I can hear this trailer like in my head. The music they use to it, bop, 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 bop. Like this is a great show. What is this Yelena meeting Yelena thing here, by the way?
Probably just a dream sequence or something.
Interesting. Yeah, this trailer is great though, and I really hope that it is accurately reflective of the trailer itself or the movie itself, because you know sometimes you get a trailer, you know, example being like Age of Ultron was not as dark as the trailer would lead you to believe. I want this trailer to match this tone. Not that I want the movie to be like dark and all that kind of stuff, but I want the trailer to match this tone. I think it's a really good teaser.
There are comments in the chat that I want to say, but I also don't want to use my powers for bad. So
yeah.
Wait, what? Thank you, Dallas Lash, for the $5. Marketing has been on point for Thunderbolts so far. I totally agree.
Hell yeah.
Hold on, I'm just fixing something with our video. There we go. We also know that the Avengers Tower is officially called the Watchtower, I believe.
Val's
Watchtower. The production designer of Hereditary. Getting shouted out in a Marvel movie trailer. Is this the Void, like, for the first time, washing two soldiers away?
I could see that, yeah.
In, presumably, Avengers Tower. I mean, Val's Watchtower, where he's been created.
You're still going to call it Avengers Tower.
Yeah, I'm about to say, the bit doesn't die.
This is the sleeper hit of the superhero summer for me. I think Thunderbolts is going to be underrated and under-talked about.
Yeah.
Because it is going to be overshadowed by Fantastic Four and Superman. But I do think this is going to be this. There is a chance this could be the best of all four MCU and DCU movies we get this year. There's a chance. And I think it's not going to be the biggest though. But people are going to watch this and I think hopefully be surprised by it. And this trailer is a great way to make that happen. Yeah. All right. What else we got today? What are we moving on to?
Speaking of Fantastic Four, so Kevin Feige at South by Southwest, and he participated in like the Disney Parks panel that they had there, which kind of surprised me. I did not expect that to be something at South by. But he confirmed that the Fantastic Four are going to be at Tomorrowland at Disneyland, and that a Herbie animatronic is in the works and will greet guests at the entrance. They also revealed concept art for Fantastic Four and kind of confirmed that the Tomorrowland park is a huge inspiration for the style of the movie. So I love this. I was really hoping that if they did some sort of collaboration, that it would be at Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. And I just am very excited for this. What do you guys think?
Love it. I'm right there with you. The Tomorrowland of it all is very exciting. I'm curious if they'll be able to stuff them into Magic Kingdom, which is where Tomorrowland is in Orlando, because of the rules with Universal Studios down there, because Fantastic Four do have a presence at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
But I think that also sends the message of alternate universes. They're not just at Avengers Campus. I dig it. This concept art's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, I don't see them being at the Disney World Tomorrowland anytime soon, but I also think the Disneyland one kind of like needs more to it. Like they have their people mover hasn't been working in like multiple years. Like they have kind of not as many attractions as the Disney World one. So like having the FF kind of be a thing that drives people there, I think is definitely smart. And I agree with you. If they were in Avengers Campus, I feel like that wouldn't have hit the same way.
Mm-hmm. Tomorrowland in Orlando is so much better.
Yeah.
I'm a Disney World person, by the way.
I really wish that the old pavilion was still standing, because the production design of the old pavilion is like a dead ringer for their vision. Like this right here, like their vision of what the Baxter Building or whatever they're gonna call it is 100%. So it'll be interesting. It'll be good. Right. I'm just happy because I'm like, that will direct the flow of traffic better in the park. Like you will be able to get towards the back and towards Galaxy's Edge way easier if everybody's going over there to see Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Oh,
Disney World or Disneyland?
For me? Oh, I've never been to Disney World yet. I haven't been.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm a complete Disneyland person. Yeah.
Disney World for sure.
Disney World.
I've heard. Listen, for those of you who are not privy enough to have gone on Disney trip or inside the park with Brandon Davis, he will let you know. He will let you know that it's like, yo, what if Florida's better?
I know my way around these parks. I love theme parks. I love the Disney parks. I know my way around. I'm ready to go anytime. All right, what else? What's next? Is this the Fortnite thing?
Jenna brought up Avengers Campus, so we gotta talk about the Avengers Campus of it all. We got first looks at the Stark test flight lab design of the Iron Man ride that's coming to California Adventures Campus. And for those of you who don't remember, a friend of the show, Bob Iger and RDJ rode it at B23 last year, where Jamie was also present, although she did not get to ride, unfortunately. We'll shoot for that this year. Here we go. Shout out to Theme Park Insider, where I just look across their like feeds and I'm like, oh my God, look at how cool this is. At least once a week. Scott and them do a great job. But yeah, you like sit inside of a harness with two people, and then you go around like a Stark production line, and it lifts you and rotates you all around and stuff, and they move in concert. They had some footage of like the Imagineers like holding like mock models and rotating themselves so that they could like mimic how people would be like moving people around. And I was like, well, this is more interesting. I think that first weekend of this being open is going to be wild as all get out, because everybody's going to want to go in there and take a video of Robert Downey Jr. talking to you before the ride starts. Mm-hmm. That is the big draw of the ride, more possibly than the ride itself. So
this is a screens ride?
I think probably, but it's like it's moving around more than Spider-Man.
It reminds, based on like the format of the ride, the seat you're in moving like that, I would hope for something more like the Hogwarts ride. I'm talking about how when you sit down in the chair and it moves sideways, and then you're kind of going back and forward and all that stuff, and it's got the Dementors. And have y'all been on the Hogwarts ride at Universal?
I have not.
No, they don't have that in California.
We going there another time. Haven't seen it.
Well, that ride is like, I mean, especially since it came out so long ago. It's really like your seat is moving, you're moving like this, and it's got screens, but it also has a ton of different practical things, giant spiders, all kinds of stuff from the Wizarding World and all that. And I would have rather seen this be something like that. I think that could have been really cool. Who knows? Maybe it is. I'm not a big screens person. Like the Spider-Man ride, not for me. That thing's, come on. You've been on the Spider-Man ride.
Oh, a bunch of times, yeah. Because everybody always wants to go on it when they go to Disneyland. They're like, can we go? And I'm like, sure, fine, sounds good. And then I pray that there's no line. Huh?
It's an arm workout.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that too. Like Brandon's walking out of there like he's got the pump up bars from SpongeBob after doing Spider-Man. Like the anchor arms.
I'm not a fan of the Spider-Man ride.
No.
I want less screens. All right.
Infinity Defense is going to be better, so that's good.
Infinity Defense sounds pretty cool. It sounds like the Rise of the Resistance, but for Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. That's going to be cool. Fortnite is also going to have a crossover with Disney parks, which I find interesting. This is our last kind of Disney topic. So Asa Kalama at South by Southwest said, imagine, what if you could go to the park and have an experience in Smuggler's Run and go on this amazing mission and then have that effect or connect to your gameplay at home? Interesting. I don't know what that entails, but I would assume you might get a skin or you might get a score. I know Disney invested like $1.5 billion in Epic Games for something that hasn't even launched yet. I assume it's going to be a pretty big deal. Pretty cool to think about something you do at Disney parks resulting in your Epic Games account getting a new skin or something. I would like to see them team up with Marvel Rivals as well. But for the sake of Star Wars, that's interesting. That's pretty cool.
I remember when this was announced at D23 and people were like, what is going to be the extent of this like Disney collaboration? Like, are all of the Disney princesses going to suddenly be in Fortnite? And which sounds crazy because like they're not going to let them all hold guns and do like the stuff that you do in Fortnite. But like I totally expected it to be some sort of like virtual version of Disney World or of like Disney attractions or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's that and like, oh, here's a version of Smuggler's Run that you can play in Fortnite. But I do like your idea of like having cosmetics or something that you get from actually riding the ride yourself. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I stopped buying Fortnite skins mostly because I don't have a job, but also I have too many Fortnite skins. So that was an easy way to start saving a little bit of money. All right, let's switch over to DC, and who better to kick us off on some DC topics than the DC genius mastermind herself, Jenna Anderson.
Thank you. So Robert Pattinson confirmed that the Batman Part 2 will film after the Odyssey later this year. He was talking to the French outlet Technicart, and he said, quote, I'm going to shoot it after the Odyssey at the end of the year. I only have a vague idea of the script. So this kind of lines up with what James and Peter were saying of what Matt Reeves has turned in for the script so far, but at least it's encouraging that they have a window of when they're hypothetically going to start filming. This excites me, given how long it has taken to get to this movie. What do you guys think?
Man.
I wish Pattinson knew more about what it was about. I also take Robert Pattinson press tours to mean absolutely nothing sometimes because he likes to mess with people. But yeah,
his story about squirrels was delightful on this press tour. He was talking about how he can't watch horror movies at home anymore because he got like really scared by one and he thought like a monster was in his house and it was a squirrel outside his window. So it's like there's always some crazy story on a Robert Pattinson press tour.
Mm-hmm.
I love how cheeky our boy is. He's so silly. He's such a silly goose. Him and Andrew Garfield, they're silly gooses. I love it. I am kind of understanding why you might not know what Batman Part 2 is about, right? Because if I had to be in the Odyssey, my brain would just be overtaken by how large the story is and stuff. I don't know. He's gonna have to like shave, I assume, after we get done being in the Aegean Sea. So it's exciting, it's interesting, but like Brandon said, you don't be taking that British man seriously. He's
I still think though, I mean, I don't think there's no script.
Mm-hmm.
So he might, I mean, I'm sure he has a little bit of insights. Like it's not like he doesn't talk to Matt Reeves and get the ideas, but there's no script for this movie still, as of a month ago or 3 weeks ago.
You need to text James and ask. Text him and
ask. All right. How much more? What else we got left? Oh, this one. Okay. Let's talk about this. I saw somebody commenting earlier wanting to talk about this. We'll talk about it. Superman. Rumors about Superman test screenings are all over the place. Some people are saying it's really, really good from people they talk to. Some people are saying it's really, really bad from people they talk to. I don't care about the rumors about test screenings. Test screenings are incomplete versions of the movie. They're versions of the movie intended to improve the movie. And I also don't even know if any of this is true or give a damn what some random person's opinion, which is one person getting relayed via telephone, then telephoned onto the internet, what it had. I don't care. I don't care if 100 rumors come out saying it's good or bad. Just, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Preach. Like you're exactly right. I think like it's all subjective anyway, and we're still so many months away from this movie even coming out. And like you said, we don't even know the extent of if these test screenings are happening, how often they're happening, what versions they're happening. Like I said with concept art, test screenings have a specific purpose. And so people can walk away from that feeling a bunch of different things, but it's just it feels like trying to just get clicks and get attention about something that we don't know a lot about in the grand scheme of things. Like we're still waiting on a second trailer. There's still a lot that we don't know about this movie. So like people are just trying to get traction talking about it in some way. And so saying that you know someone's second cousin who went to a test screening is an easy way
You're
to do
so
that.
funny.
Sing it.
Everybody's uncle works in Nintendo. It's insane. I just wish we didn't all pump fake ourselves into a fervor over weird rumors about these movies, but that's where we live, unfortunately. We're gonna all form our opinions over and you're right. I forgot to we don't even have a second trailer.
Yep.
You know, we haven't had a second of David Corn Sweat on a late night TV show talking about the movie, trying to talk around the plot points of the movie and like vamping. So we'll reserve judgment.
Rachel Brosnahan's the closest thing, as all the award season interviews that Rachel Brosnahan's been doing have been getting a lot of traction. But other than that, there's really not a lot being said about the movie itself. And I like this comment from Eric. Bad test screening rumors have really been hurting blockbusters lately. I don't even know if that's true. I think people are just negative for the sake of being negative, and everybody's just pouty lately. So
can't imagine why.
I mean, there's been better times to be alive.
Yeah.
But I just think it's social. I mean, it's there's a million reasons, but I just think social media is being driven by algorithms, which results in extreme takes, and negativity is paying the bills lately. I think these big budget mainstream hits like Superman, these movies and shows that get a lot of eyeballs. If you just think Daredevil is okay, you don't say that anymore. You say Disney ruined Daredevil. Oh, Disney ruined Daredevil. It was just the first episode wasn't Oppenheimer. Disney ruined Daredevil. Like, so everybody has an opinion, and everybody should have an opinion. But I think people are even getting lost in their own opinions and just trying to have the extreme take. So either it's a result of the echo chamber that they live in as a result of their typical taste, which then amplifies them on the positive or negative side of the opinion spectrum, or they just want to get engagement and they know that hyperbole is going to get engagement. So Superman, I don't care what the test screenings say. I'm there day one, no matter what I hear from every test screening rumor along the way.
There's been lots of surprises, even this year already, too. Like movies that people were like, whatever, like Companion's good. Like fun time. Like all these other movies, they're fun. Just go watch movies. Try to enjoy yourself the best you can, guys, you know? Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Yes, Blaine, he was preaching today. God bless. Brandon preaching the gospel. That's right. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is a birthday. Yes, it is. Today is Lobo's birthday. And Jenna has some Lobo facts for the class.
Yeah, so if you are unfamiliar with Lobo, I guess I'll try to give you a crash course. I did make a video months ago when Momoa was officially cast as Lobo, so you can definitely go check that out for more in-depth. But he was created by Roger Slifer and Keith Giffen in 1983's Omega Man #3. He is a very outrageous, very ridiculous looking biker in space. And he was originally created as kind of an antagonist of the Omega Men. Over time, his origin story was elaborated on. For a while, he is the last surviving member of his planet, only because he killed everyone else on his planet and just kind of took matters into his own hands. And so he traverses through the galaxy on a space bicycle, often with space dolphins, kind of carrying out bounties and just being a very colorful character. His role in comics has really changed over the years in some interesting ways. Like he definitely in the 90s was trying to be a send up of Punisher and Wolverine and how gritty and dark those characters were at the time, but they were doing it in a very sort of silly way. He's crossed over with Judge Dredd. He's crossed over with all of these other weird parts of popular culture. One of his best comics is the Lobo paramilitary Christmas special, which is where the Easter Bunny asks him to carry out a hit on Santa Claus. And it's just as delightful and ridiculous as you might think that sounds. And like since then, he's only kind of grown as a character in terms of popularity. He like there was a bit of time where he got de-aged into a teenager, but nobody really likes or talks about that. So really kind of the normal prototype of Lobo is what you think of. And yeah, it's really, really exciting that Jason Momoa is finally playing him. Like he's been in TV, he's been in animation, but we're finally getting to a point of like having him on the big screen.
I mean, come on. This is what comics are about right here. This stuff.
Oh, I think you're muted, Brandon.
Yeah.
Can we real quick for Jenna on the impromptu Lobo classes in session? Well done. Everybody just learned a thing or 10 about Lobo. Great. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was cool. So, and the reason that this came up was because right before the show, James Gunn shared the text he got from Jason Momoa on social media, and this has some language in it. He said, on the anniversary of Lobo, I can't help but think of a text I received from Jason Momoa on the morning it was announced Peter and I were the heads of DC Studios, the day Jason and I first discussed him joining the DCU as Lobo. I've loved watching Jason bring him to life, and I can't wait to share that with all of you. So this is the text, and this is exactly what James said it was like a couple weeks ago when I went to that DC Studios event. Effin' Lobo, only he didn't say effin'. And he said, dude, I've said you should be Lobo for years, no lie. So that's pretty cool. I think Jason Momoa or James Gunn just gets along with people, man.
Yeah. Well, and he has a history with Jason. Like Jason auditioned to play Drax, like way back when the Guardians movies were starting. So like he's wanted to work with him in this capacity for a really long time. And it kind of just, the stars aligned perfectly of like, he's thought about playing Lobo and he's campaigned for it since before he even got cast as Aquaman. So like history is just kind of working out of like, now he finally gets to play him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. And they did say it's going to be a minute until we see that first look at Lobo because all of Supergirl is set in outer space. So all the backdrops and stuff, like they need VFX. So it might be a minute until we see it, but they said he looks like Lobo. It's not for me to get excited. I got me very excitable. I know, I'm very excitable. So one last topic today. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comment section. We will answer some questions because, as you can see, this has been a shorter show. It's been a lighter show. It's an opportunity to talk to you guys. And if there's something you want to talk about that we can and want to talk about as well, we will. But the last topic I want to talk about is Novocaine, because I went to Austin over the weekend and I got to see the Novocaine movie, which lots of reactions and reviews are coming out for now. Also, the trailer quotes me on it, so that's kind of cool. It says my name on the new commercial they have. I called it Relentless and Insane, and it is. The movie itself is hilarious. Extremely violent, by the way. Like very, very, very violent. You've been warned, but it's very funny. It uses the kind of the over-the-top violence almost as part of its source of humor, really. But have you guys seen some of the stuff they've been doing to promote this movie?
I saw your video of you punching a like amusement park dummy of Jack Quaid's head. Like that was cool.
Yeah, that was the first step. They have these, I think, bravo to whoever recognized the success of the Deadpool and Wolverine claw machine, finding something that people can engage with and make social media content about, therefore free marketing at a movie theater. There is this Jack Quaid, his name is Nathan Kane, face, which is just creepy looking because it's so real and it's kind of beat up. And it's one of those arcade games that you punch and it tells you how hard you punch. I think these are going to theaters based on how high quality the face was. I don't know if they've been mass produced, but it was great. So I did a video where I punched it and then Jack Quaid spawns right next to me and he's like, dude, that's why'd you punch me in the face? And we do a bit where I punch him in the face. Camera cut just before you see how hard I punched him. But I, maybe I really did. But it's all in promotion of a movie where he plays a character who can't feel pain, physical pain. Genius. First of all, that video is, in all my years on social media, the most viewed video I've ever posted. In less than a week, it's been watched over 20 million times. Because Jack Quaid was down to film it. That's resulted. I didn't get the footage for my interviews until like 4 days after it posted, which was a bummer because you can add related video. But it's even resulting in the viewership on my interview with Jack Quaid going up quite well. And then Jack Quaid went yesterday to a Clippers game, done up in makeup like he's been assaulted and beat up like he was in the movie, and a neck brace on. And he just was in character at a Clippers game doing like a mic work. And I was like, this is good on Jack Quaid. That is 10 out of 10 marketing and fun and awareness. I just think it's smart. I think a couple weeks ago, nobody really knew about this movie. And now not only are people seeing content that I made, but lots of other people made with that machine, with Jack, and now at the Clippers game and all kinds of stuff. I think it's a really clever marketing campaign, and I appreciate that Jack Quaid is having fun with it. I just wanted to shout out whoever's doing PR and marketing over there at Paramount for Novacaine. Good job. You're crushing it. And thank you, Victor. I'm going to send that straight to Paramount. Victor said BD is definitely the reason why I know about this movie. If you could just tell every movie studio that, and just every brand ever,
yeah,
that'll really be doing well. All right, we got a question from Jen. Did you guys are you guys excited for Novocaine?
Yeah, I've definitely seen the trailer a lot whenever I've gone to the theater, but even like when I saw Mickey 17, I saw the Red Band trailer for the first time, and I agree with you. It definitely looks violent just based off of that. But I love Jack Quaid. He is a delightful human being. He's one of my favorite interviews that I've ever done. And then I like met him in person a year later, and he still recognized me from the random phone interview that we did. So like he is just the coolest dude, and I'm glad that he's getting to be a movie star because he definitely deserves it.
We were in Austin the night of the Oscars, and a bunch of us, including Jack, were watching the Oscars together in the hotel lobby, and Meg Ryan came on to give the Best Picture award, and Jack goes, "That's my mom." And I was like, this is so weird. This is so weird. What is life? But he's such a cool dude. He is a really nice guy in my limited experiences with him. All right, let's get to some questions here. There was one I saw. Question for later, question for now. Jeffrey, which DC/Marvel hero would you give to the following directors? Peele, Perry, Spielberg, and Bigelow. That's a lot of thought, Jeffrey. Jordan Peele. Who could Jordan Peele direct?
Anyone he wants, honestly. Like,
I lean into horror when I think of Jordan Peele, like mind game horror films. Did you have a thought?
Yeah, like definitely like in the horror sort of variety, but then also on the flip side, I'd like if he wanted to do like a Teen Titans movie or X-Men or like anything in the space, it's like if he's creatively drawn to it, like go for it kind of thing. And then Spielberg is an easy one because he has wanted to make a Blackhawks movie for DC since like 3 regimes ago. Nothing has happened with it recently. Like I remember a script was being written, but he would definitely, I would put him on that because it's a World War II team that would be very cool to see in his style.
Yeah.
Jordan, I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't do this with like, okay, here, this person's going to be good at this because they did a bunch of other stuff. I mean, I guess. I think it would be really interesting just because of the tone of something like Nope or whatever, or Us, to do like a Sentry thing with Peele.
Ooh.
Because he's so weird and like conspiratorially, like very, 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 very paranoid all the time. And there's like a claustrophobia, I feel like, to his filmmaking that would be kind of interesting. I don't know. Everybody's like, "Oh God, Blade," and I'm just like, "Man, listen, I'm just gonna say that it's funny. We always do this with Black directors. You only allowed to do Black characters. You're not allowed to do nothing else."
I mean, in that vein, Tyler Perry, I was gonna say like maybe Booster Gold. Tyler Perry's got a good knack for comedy, and we don't need all Black characters for Black directors.
I was like, it's very funny.
But that said, listen, I would watch Jordan Peele's Blade movie.
Of course you would.
I'd watch it.
Yeah. Too.
I'd watch it.
At the same time, like, you know, Tyler, we ain't gonna do that.
Catherine, is that Bigelow? Catherine Bigelow?
Yeah.
I think so.
The Hurt Locker. I mean, Captain America.
That'd be interesting.
Because I was gonna say, I remember James Cameron to Catherine Bigelow had a quote where he basically was like, "More women should be able to direct."
You
movies.
cut out.
Like, stop pigeonholing actors to just the female characters. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, you're back.
Okay. James Cameron had a quote because talking about Catherine Bigelow, who he used to be married to, he basically was like, stop pigeonholing female directors to just female characters in the superhero space. Like, let them do whatever they want. And he basically named Batman of like, she should direct a Batman movie. So I would love to see that. I think that would be cool.
Bigelow for Wonder Woman, said Sean. Completely contradicting everything you just said, but I think Catherine Bigelow could also probably make a really gritty Nova movie in space. That'd be pretty crazy.
Oh.
If you're just going to do all these weird, like, Gotham City things around Batman, because that's the only part of Matt Reeves' universe that seems to be developed, like that Gotham Central thing. I like Detroit a lot. The movie's crazy. So something like that. There's like a temptation to like put her on like Zoe Kravitz Catwoman, where it's just her and was homegirl God, who we just saw,
Sophia.
just tearing stuff up for 2 hours. But like I said,
Aaron, London's saying, "Don't call me out like that."
two ballers caps. It's a nice style, man. I mean, it is, but also like, I don't know, like feels so like I'm not getting into any conversations about Blade today. I'm having a nice day. Okay. I actually came over here. We're not getting any conversations about Blade.
Yeah, we're trying to start the week on a nice, like some levity to life here. Bigelow doing Martian Manhunter could be sick, said Brian. Oblivion, that'd be funny. Fan cast and Invincible live action movie. Get phone code. Max, and yes, you should go to Raw tonight. CM Punk for Seth Rollins in a steel cage match. Absolutely, bud. You should also go to OVW's Overdrive and Rise show Thursday in Louisville, because for the foreseeable future, your boy's going to be wrestling there. Fan cast and Invincible live action movie. I mean, is Steven Yeun too old to play Invincible now?
Probably.
You know, I don't know who else could play Invincible. I don't have a pick. I'm catching up. I haven't watched season 3 yet. I'm pressing play on season 3, episode 1 today. But yeah, I don't know. You guys gonna watch the studio? Asked AB. Yes, I am gonna watch the studio. That looks pretty good. All right. Anything else we want to talk about today?
There was another question that was, do y'all have any fan castings for Jack Quaid in the MCU or DCU? And I wanted to touch on that because mine is Wally West. Like, I think he would be perfect as that version of the Flash. Aaron just had a reaction. I'm very curious if you agree or disagree with me.
Fun. I'm like, that's very fun. Good job, Jenna.
Thank you.
I talked to him in a clip that I haven't published yet, but at the Novacaine premiere, he talked about his audition for Superman, and he really did audition for live action Superman. And to me, what I take from that is when James Gunn auditions somebody and likes them, and then James Gunn went on to share love for Companion, they usually end up working for James Gunn at some point in a future project. Now, he's already the voice of Superman in My Adventures with Superman. His live action DC card hasn't been played yet. So maybe Jenna's onto something. All right. Max approves as well.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Oh, we also had one. There was a casting for DC. Let's get this in. Right,
yeah, I was just pulling that up from Lanterns.
Green Lantern casting.
Yeah, so Nicole Ari Parker, who has been on And Just Like That, is cast as Jon Stewart's mother, Bernadette. People are asking for like backstory on her. She doesn't have like a human. Everything they've said about Lanterns thus far is that they're kind of just amalgamating a bunch of the different runs and the different eras of Green Lantern together. So I think that this is definitely a part of that, of like giving his mom more of a role than she usually has in the source material.
Works for me.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with her work, so I'm cool. Sounds good. All right. I think that's our show today, everybody. Jenna, any last words for episode 38 of Face Hero?
It's at Hey It's Jenna Lynn on social media. As always, go read some comics and go subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is at Go Read Some Comics. I posted a video late last week about the reaction to Bucky being a congressman in the MCU and Mayor Fisk, and just kind of why people are reacting the way that they are. And that video has been really well responded to. And then I am going to make a video later this week about the FF being at Tomorrowland. So stay tuned for that.
Oh, God, I can't wait for that. Aaron?
It's at Some Like Hornet Everywhere. Thank you guys for the nice response to launching Free Space, how to watch free TV on Instagram. I got messages from people who said they watched Space Ghost. So as long as I can preach that particular gospel, I'm really, really happy. Got some updates, got first guest booked for our show on March 20th. So I'm excited about that. And, you know, we're going to be talking about free TV. So if you want to know, if you are out here like it's too expensive to go to all this stuff and watch all these things, subscribe to the newsletter, howtowatchfree.tv.
I love it.
Jamie hates Face Hero confirmed. She doesn't hate us.
Jamie had an appointment today that she could not move to get a tattoo. Otherwise, she would have been here. Like, we just need to clarify that.
Yes, Jamie hates Face Hero confirmed. You heard it from Jennifer. Thank you all so much for hanging with us. Go listen to Free Space. Go subscribe to Jenna's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for getting my YouTube channel, the channel that Face Hero broadcasts on, past 50,000 subscribers. We have now, it's closing on 52,000 already. It just hit 50 yesterday. Insane. That's largely driven by the Novacaine clip with Jack Quaid. It's driven by the Daredevil Born Again interviews I've been able to post, the Cap 4 content, the DC Studios event. Hopefully soon it's driven by OVW, because like I said, every Thursday I will be in Louisville wrestling for OVW. I drive up every morning. I drive back at night. That means this Thursday, if you get there, I might be on Overdrive, which tapes prior to Thursday night's live show, which starts at 7. You got to be there about 6:20. You want to see me go? Once they put me on Rise, I got my eyes on that OVW media title. There's never been a wrestling championship title that feels more catered to Brandon Davis. It is literally called the OVW media title. And if you're not familiar with OVW, this is the wrestling venue, promotion, organization that the likes of John Cena, bad guy, Dave Bautista, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Beth Phoenix, Mark Henry, Bobby Lashley. This is where Randy Orton started. So to be a part of that is a great honor for me. And I appreciate everybody who has shown support. Please continue to comment and watch their stuff. It's going to help me. If I'm a draw, to the top, baby. Let's get honest about it. Let's get real, because I'll put the work in. Appreciate y'all supporting. Play our show for your dad. Play it for your cat. Subscribe. Leave a 5-star review on all major podcast platforms. And we will see you tomorrow night for Daredevil Born Again episode 3 right after the show. See you there.